Hello and welcome to your IBMI update for June 2025. This is the second of a two-part special reporting from the June IBMI events in Sweden and the UK. This part covers the iPower event in Northampton, UK. Here I give insight into what it's like to attend and provide a couple of top takeaways from the pick of the presentations as attended by Proximity, your premier partner for IBMI application support and development. Welcome to Northampton for the iPower event, the largest UK event of its type put on by the good people at iUG. This two-day event enjoys a slant on education, with day one dedicated to workshops, while day two focused on information and arming the IBMI professional with the knowledge needed to stay ahead of the game in the coming 12 months. So let's start with day one. And what makes day one really special is the delegates' access to world leaders and experts in specific technologies and areas in IBMI. Indeed, a handful of these workshops were all-day affairs. Here you'd get the opportunity to deep dive into a particular subject to get what essentially is expert tuition that would normally cost you or your company thousands of pounds, all for the price of a ticket. Now, in room one, you could sit with your laptop and Andy Ewens, who got you going on open source development. Room 2 had Brigitte Hausen, who provided a masterclass of insight into DB2 and SQL services, while Room 3 had renowned security expert Carol Rudbury, who provided a deep dive into IBMI security, with a little bit of SQL later in the day when she was joined by the inimitable Scott Forstie. Now, should you be thinking of joining the workshop, what should you expect? Well, first you'd need a laptop, but the rest is normally covered in class. For example, during Andy Ewen's class, after he first introduced open source development and provided an overview of Python, first he provided instruction on the setting up of the environment. On setup, the first practical assignment was to access the DB2 using Python. The next logical step was to provide examples and demonstrations how you can call and use IBMI programs, and finally he provided real-world applications and use cases. The idea here is that by the end of a day's workshop you'd have a solid understanding of how to effectively use Python within your IBMI enterprise, empowering you to develop robust and efficient applications. The feedback on all the workshops was top-notch, so if you're considering expanding your IBMI skill set, then next time. After a long day of learning, there were pre-dinner drinks to be enjoyed in the expo hall, followed by the gala dinner. This year we had entertainment from Alexander Trekin, who spoke on herding cats, Brian Farr, who provided insight into navigating the new era of cyber threats, plus we enjoyed a quick-fire pub quiz hosted by Andrew Simpson, with all the questions being IBMI related. And, no surprise, our table won, and a bottle of bubbly for each on the table, courtesy of Rocket Software. So thank you for that. Now I'd like to say I made a solid contribution to the win, but thankfully there were others on the table with a much greater knowledge than I. Finally, we enjoyed a game of bingo, and I kid you not, disco bingo. In fact, match the songs played to the song on the bingo sheet, and the first to a line of a full house wins.
I want a pair of socks.
The following day started with an introduction from Mike Ryan, the chairman of iUG. Here he provided an update on the educational program Ignite. Within the initiative, students would learn coding on I using tools such as Node-RED, but deployed on a Power server with IBMI. Indeed, the programme has been such a success over the years that the University of Wolverhampton awarded Mike an honorary doctorate. Congratulations, Mike, it's very much well deserved. Following the introductions and the iUG activities, the baton was passed to Scott Forstie, who spoke on how the future starts now with IBM i. Now, this was a real feature-packed presentation and included much on OS 7.6, and should you be interested in learning more, please do see the April 2025 edition of the IBM i update. I covered all this within that particular episode. One of the unique elements Scott put forward was his reminder of the IBM i guided tours. These tours are designed to help you get up to speed and the best out of the latest and greatest from the Rochester rabble. Indeed, Steve produces his own educational videos with Tim Rowe, providing short demonstrations of tools and techniques with examples too. So, IC is well worth a look. Sorry. Scott even gave out stickers for your laptops so we don't forget about the IC videos. Now, while we're on the subject of giveaways, the delegates weren't disappointed. You had thermos flasks and multi-tenant USB leads from Digital Space. I got some, I got a key tag here and a USB charger from Celentry, all very nice, and a cooling bag even from Service Express, which is very useful. Mugs were available in abundance too. This one here is from Frontline Systems, very good, very nice, so you could pick a colour to suit your kitchen, and there were pens and more pens, including pens from Proximity. Well done to all the vendors who contributed to the event. But I digress. One of the elements that Scott touched upon was with VSCode. Now, I too touched on this within the part 1 of the June update, and Scott reinforced the idea that VSCode will very much be the future development environment for coding on i. Indeed, the Code for i development extension for VSCode has been around nearly for a year and a half, and while developing in this way is not currently as feature-rich as RDI, it will be the only way you'll be able to make use of the Watson coding assistant for i. Speaking of which, there is now a waiting list should you wish to try the public preview. In this preview, you would get access to the first release of the product, in which watsonx will help explain and summarize code and generate documentation. Now, while I received a demonstration of a product while over in Sweden, I'm intrigued to see how this works in real-life situations. Scott explained that future iterations of the product will be able to generate code, but we didn't get a timeline of delivery for this. But he did provide targets for future iterations. The first will be to generate and compile freeform RPG. The next for the explanation and generation of COBOL code, and finally be able to transform old RPG to improve its readability, maintainability, and overall quality. And this is crucial for managing your code base and ensuring your code remains efficient and compatible with modern systems. Again, compelling stuff from Big Blue, and we look forward to learning more in the coming weeks and months. Following the keynote, the day was a blur of sessions and presentations, including those from vendors. But also there was food, a great spread for bellies of all requirements. In summary, another cracking event put on by iUG, and should you be in the UK, an IBM i professional with a thirst for knowledge, then iPower is certainly the event for you. And that's it for the second of our two-part IBM i update for June 2025. I'll be back next month with more for you, the IBM i community. In the meantime, for previous episodes, please see our blog on the Proximity website. But for now, I'm Andrew Nicholson. We're Proximity, the IBMI partners that are in your corner. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.